Hello and welcome back. All right, so in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to merge multiple photos to create a panoramic image. And here we have one of the panoramic images that I created from a recent family vacation. I think in total there was about 12 images that created this 360-degree panoramic view. I've included 5 of these images to show you how to merge them, and you can download the files from the resources section of this lesson. So let me go ahead and show you how to merge these in Photoshop. First, we need to open up the images in ACR. So once you have the file unzipped, go ahead and select the 5 images, right click and select Open with Adobe Photoshop CC 2018. Then the images will open up in ACR and you will see all 5 images listed here. Next, hold down your Shift key and click on the last image, and that will select all the images. Right-click and select Merge to Panorama. Now, depending on the speed of your computer, will determine how fast this happens for you. All right, we now have our panoramic image, and we have some options. We have Auto Crop selected, so let me show you what happens if that is turned off. We have this odd-looking shaped image, and that's because the images were shot at different angles and more or less of the scene was captured with the camera, but the same settings were applied with the 12 to 24 Nikon zoom lens. It's a wide angle lens, and I had it set at 12 millimeters as I rotated around to capture all of the different images. We also have some projection options here, and this basically will change how the image is shaped or cropped based on the image that you have selected. And as you can see, if you select perspective, it's not going to work for this particular image. So basically, it just crops the image based on the option that you select. And as you can see with spherical and cylindrical, the options or the crop is a little bit different. In most cases, I will just use auto crop unless I want to crop it in Photoshop directly. You can also change the boundary warp for the crop as well if you want to get more of the image in, but it kind of distorts the image overall as well in order to make it appear that more of the image is coming in, even though it is. The rest of the image is being distorted at the same time. So it does a pretty good job, so you can play around with this and decide on whichever option is best for you. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at 0 for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and click Merge, and then Photoshop will give us an option to save it in a folder of our choice. Once we click Save, Photoshop will do its magic and merge those images together. Pretty simple. Photoshop does all the heavy lifting for you. You just have to decide if you want to increase the boundary wrap top to bottom to add more of the image in from the angle of the images in the sequence. Now, as you can see, we have 4 onlookers here. So let me go ahead and show you how to retouch these people out directly in ACR versus having to bring it into Photoshop. And the tool we're going to use is the spot removal tool. So we're going to go ahead and select this by clicking on this icon or selecting the keyboard shortcut, which is the letter B. Then I'm going to use my right bracket key to increase the brush size to be just a little bit larger than this person's head right here. And then I'm going to click and drag, and then Photoshop is going to select a location from the image to clone to this particular area to cover it up. So I'm going to zoom out so we can better see what's going on here. And I don't want it to select up here because there's really no grass in this area here. So I think we're better off selecting an area that's closer to our subject. So I'm going to move this to right about there. Then I'm going to change it to clone. Now let's go ahead and go over that area again until we have the subject removed completely. We can also hide those pins or those overlays by unselecting Show Overlay, and we can better see what's going on. So we now have those two people removed from the scene. So now I'm going to hold down my spacebar key so I can click and navigate to the next two people that we need to remove. Let's go ahead and make our brush smaller with the left bracket key, and then I'm just going to drag over the top right here. We need to show the overlay again so we can see where we're copying from. I want to go a little bit closer to where he is. And we'll go ahead and hide it again. And then we'll just continue going over that area until he's completely gone. So right there we have a little bit of a leaf coming in. So we're going to bring this back up into this area. So it's just a matter of moving the pins into a location where you can clone from that's going to look natural. This is a little bit harder because we don't have a lot of options to choose from. Actually, that one works pretty good. Let's go ahead and make the brush a little bit smaller. I can still see his foot right here. And let's go ahead and click and move this one down to this area again. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and remove this person now. And I want to do one more right here. I'm not liking how this looks. There we go. We now have no more people in our photo. How cool is that? I love it. All right, so you can use ACR to retouch your images versus having to bring them into Photoshop and create layers and retouching and healing brushes and this and that. You can do a lot of retouching directly in ACR with the spot removal tool. Just takes a little time to get used to because you do have to continue going over the same area with the spot removal tool in order to clone or heal and make it look natural. You can also increase or decrease the feather and the opacity to help you blend in the retouching to help it look more natural. We did this fairly quickly. I probably would have taken a little bit more time to align the elements down here and probably up here as well. But I think we did a pretty good job in just the amount of time that we spent on it. So go ahead and grab these images, merge them in ACR, and then practice with your spot removal tool to remove the people from your images.